Welcome to the Family Wallet application. This is the dashboard that displays information on what's happening in the system. So on this page, on the home page, what we have here is we have a table here that shows recent withdrawals and payments that are almost expiring and payments that are expired um, but have not been completed. So there's no information on that, but we'll come back to that. Over here, it shows a record of transactions, money transactions happening in the system. So I have selected a specific transaction type. For this case is drive to customer. We can see over here the amounts that are happening over a period. It also shows the total amount of money moved in this period. Should I select a specific, say all transactions, it will show me that information. As you can see, as the data is coming in, we can see the total amount of money that has been moved in this period. This includes all transaction types. So that's why you see some outliers, because some transactions are big amounts and some of them are small amounts. Coming down here, I have kind of a balance sheet per day on how many transactions happened for that specific day. So as you can see on this day, there was pay for ride was 186,600. Coming down to this section, we can see the balance of all the transactions in that period. We can see transactions, reasons why transactions do not succeed. And over here, right now it's showing the driver ID, but it will show the driver name of how much money has been moved per driver. And here it shows the number of successful recurring payments. Okay, moving on. On this page, it shows transactions that are happening in the system. So this is for a certain period that we have selected, and we can see what is happening in here during this period. For every transaction that has been done, what is the balance before and the balance after. We can also reverse the transaction or investigate it further. For example, for every transaction, there's a group of transactions. So we could click there and see the details of that group of transactions. This is important for understanding how transactions are moving in the system. We can also investigate failed transactions here. So we can see the reasons on why certain transactions are failing. On this page, it shows recurring payments and the amount of money that has been collected. So this feature has not been activated yet. That's why we see the numbers being blank. On this page, we are investigating a specific, we can look at a specific user, a driver, and understand their account. On this page, I've selected a specific driver. We can see how much money is in their wallet here. We can see their earnings history over a period of time compared to the number of rides they took on those days. We can investigate further to see how much money is going into their wallets over a specific period of time. Over this side, we can see group by date transactions that happened for that driver. This is important for understanding how much money a driver is making with us in a specific period. We can also look at a timeline of how much money they've had in their wallet over time. And over here we have the balance size and how much money they've moved in that period. We can also have access to take out money from a driver's wallet, and this is an example of a transaction that happened for this driver. We can investigate specific transactions linked to the driver. So, and we can also reverse transactions. Over here we have recurring payments, and over here we have a calendar of the history of those payments over a specific period of time. We can investigate progress of, of that recurring payment. We can also subscribe manually a driver to a specific payment. This last page is for collecting driver documents, so there are no documents yet added for this driver. On this page we have a kind of chart of accounts for transactions. We can pause, we can set transaction rules for, say, how much is a maximum per transaction, which accounts gets credited or debited. We can look at whether the transactions are active or not, or whether they've been tracked externally as well. We can set up specific recurring payments and assign them to specific drivers. Welcome to the SafeMotos dashboard. This is the dashboard that shows the performance of the physical ads. We can compare certain statistics such as clicks, impressions, and scans over a period of time. We can look at a chart of graphs of how that's happening over specific periods and which hours are the busy hours. We can also compare all these levels of an ad. There's the time the ad is seen, the time the ad is clicked, and when the actual arrival happens. We can have a spotlight of what's happening to an ad, and we can dive into it should we need be. On this page we have a list of all ads and how we can create them. Creating an ad here makes it appear to the customer's end, and we can target that information here by creating, but we'll come back to that. Selecting a specific ad shows the statistics for that ad, and for example this ad here has had 104 impressions, 79 clicks, 6 scans, and 3 arrivals. And we can edit all that information depending on how that information is shown to the customer. On here we can look at how the ad is performing over a period of time, and we can see customer arrivals that have been completed and those ones which are pending to be completed. Yeah, so I was just trying to look at specific ad, but it's the same information. Oh, here we go. So we can look at this ad. So there can be two types of redemption. It can be by an arrival, by just arriving at the pin, or by scanning the QR code. And we can see the information over a period of time, the customers who have come at this specific place, and we can investigate. And this will be the dashboard that the owner of the business looks at. You can also configure things like topping up by going into the specific items. And this is just like, they can have full access to what kind of information they're showing the clients on the app that we're going to look at next. And this is the SafeMotos dashboard. I'm going to walk you through how SafeMotos works for the customer side. When you open up the SafeMotos app, there is two sections up here, which are shows map or show free places. In the free places are the featured places that have offered deals for transportation there. You can look at the ads and you can see the details of a specific ad. So this is the ad information here. If you want to select this as a destination, you can click Take Me Here. Now that the destination has been set, you can now select a pickup spot. After selecting a pickup spot, now you can go on to the confirmation page. As you can see, on this place the price of the ride will be free and the estimated time is 8 minutes. Also on this page they can also view the same information. Okay, after requesting a trip, when the customer arrives at the destination, the price is 0. Then I'm going to show you next how it appears after you've taken a free trip. After taking a free trip, before you can take more free trips, you have to validate the last trip that you took. So on this side, the app changes to show your last trip and gives you options on how to redeem your trip. You can scan a QR code at the establishment, or you can have the owner or somebody with access approve the trip that you've taken. So when you scan on a real device, it shows you the camera where you can scan the code. However, the owner can also approve you because they have access to this menu option, which shows all the recent arrivals, and they can approve or deny the arrival. After being approved, then you can take more free trips. After being denied, then you're not able to take another free trip until the other one has been completely validated. So this arrival has been approved, and so this means this user can now take more free trips. When you're waiting for your driver to come pick you, we have an option to feature specific ads for that view. So for example, here we can see featured go to Cafe Neo now. If you select this, then you can see the details of the deal that you're getting for that ride, and this specifically shows instructions for that. If you were to select this trip, it will say there's a destination for that trip. Furthermore, you can also view the free places that are there on this list. But because I have taken a trip that I haven't redeemed yet, it will show that I'm blocked until I can redeem my trip. This is a driver's side application. We don't have a map because we're simulating a device. However, they have a view where they can open and view example of earnings that they've had in a specific period. They can look into specific trips and look into transactions for that trip. On top of their earnings, they also have a wallet where they can see how much money they have. They can look into their history of transactions, which is a basic view, so that they can know how much money they've had in a while. With a driver without a trip, they can also record a trip and use our app as a meter by holding this button. Once that happens, the driver's app is in meter mode, and they can take any customer that they would like. They can do further actions on their apps, such as enter the user's phone number so that the wallet of that user gets debited, and at the end of the trip they see the amount of money that is owed for that specific trip.
Okay, I found this on the web for a few months.
This was a street trip, and the driver can see all the information regarding that trip and how much the user owes him for that trip.